You'd think it looks like stuff is happening, but I'm not quite sure because I haven't done it yet, so we'll do that in a minute. But what's up, guys? Back for another episode. Hanging out with me and a junky little S10 and a not so junky K30 that I just stare at, because boy, there's a lot of stuff to go over. There's just so much to do, so little time. It's not like I have a timeline or anything like that. There's no deadlines, there's nothing. I don't want to spend my usual year building something. This needs to come out. There's lots of little stuff we got to do there. Before we jump into any of that, thank you all the new subscribers. Thank you to the old subscribers. Thank you for taking, a few minutes out of your day to watch this. It's not gonna be a long video. Just a quick little update on. I worked on this thing. I went and watched drag racing with the family on the weekend, and that just motivated the crap out of me to get it ready. We saw at the end of the last video, I got pulled over testing on the street with this thing with the new 6.0 and the twin turbo setup and everything. I didn't get in trouble, thank God, but that just reminded me I am a grown man and testing on the street is only so good for so long. Obviously, I have plenty of places obviously to go test. I just tested in a bad spot at a bad time. Didn't get in trouble for it, which is great, but I don't want to keep doing that. So we'll be going back to the track. So I went to the track this weekend to spectate, and it just revived that whole I want to get out and start drag racing inside feeling that I've been just, I don't know, manifesting. After a decade of drifting, it's going to be nice to relax and focus on, going broke drag racing instead of going broke drifting. But instead of rambling, let's get some work done on some vehicles. We know this thing needs some cutting and some cleaning, but before we jump into that, the S10 got a little bit of work done the other day, and if you noticed real quick on camera, it is sitting so much better. So I'll throw up two quick little pictures, the old rear height and then the new rear height. So you notice we are sitting way lower in the back, and the main thing is, I don't know if this is going to pick up great, but I can bounce the truck now in the back by just leaning my body weight on it. I think I had tightened up a rear shackle a little bit too much. Some tips from a couple buddies. Where did I even throw those? I'm not sure. Some tips from some buddies were the center rear spring needed to come out of my pack as well, so I'm down to just two. We have just the lower and then the other one. They look great. Everything is pinched all down, cut my U-bolts to size, remounted my shocks slightly so we have a little bit more travel, and yeah, I mean, I'm happier. It sits a lot lower. It's starting to look a little bit better, a little bit more like the other trucks that I'm noticing at, similar setups. But I am quite happy. Don't talk about this one. Don't talk about this one. Now that the neighbor's dogs are gonna let me film this clip, S10 seems so great. We're gonna do some street testing this week, but we're waiting on two little parts. I did order G-body trick springs for the front, and then I got some competition engineering shocks to match the ones in the rear, so that way the front is no longer the just garbage it is. Probably doesn't pick up great on camera, but original to 1987 springs and shocks for a 4-cylinder, not great. The truck is not happy having a twin turbo iron 6.0 on top of it. But like I said, let's not turn this into a ramble fest. Let's get some work done, and with that, I'm gonna cut this Titanic bumper off. As much as I love this thing, and I may end up reusing it, these are some of, see if it picks up on camera, some of the most boogerish welds I have ever seen. They didn't even get that spot. Yeah, they're real bad down there. Then they're no better on this side. I mean, not saying I'm, some Kid Kane dime throwing monster here, but I MIG weld a lot better than that, and I TIG weld better than that too, so we're gonna cut that off. Plasma cut it out, start from that. Then I have a fresh slate. If I want to weld it back on, I'll weld some brackets to it, make some front brackets, something that ties into the frame a little better. Because to be honest, I can't believe I towed things out of ditches last winter in, in the snow with it like that. I was real close to just tugging the front off, but let's get that thing cut off. Then we'll get the pressure washer fired up, clean out, and see if we can find any other goodies, right? Let's jump into some fun. Let me pause my Cletus and just say, if you can't weld it right, just pay someone to do it, please. Please? I'll pay you to pay them to do it, if that's what you need. I mean, boy, howdy. What I had to cut through and off. Oh, and also, it doesn't help when the bumper is full of some sort of diarrhea. But that's off. I'm gonna get that moved. I'm gonna get Cletus back on. I'm gonna get a beer into me or something like that, because that sucked. We'll get the pressure washer out and we'll start cleaning this front end up. Once we start cleaning this front end up, we're gonna go through and talk about some of that fancy precision fabrication kit there. Dive into some more of the plans of radius arms, coilovers, stay leaf spring. We got a lot to figure out there, and while I'm doing that, I'm also behind the scenes messing with this little blur, because 28th, 29th is this coming weekend, and there's 2 days of racing at Riverdale again, and there's testing tunes, and I have money to race that. I think we're going racing this weekend. Yet, maybe, kind of, we'll find out. Let's get some pressure washing and some cleaning and some more video.
2,000 years later.
Holy mess. Holy fight with a pressure washer. Don't put E85 in your pressure washer on accident. You're an idiot if you do. It takes forever to start. Ask me how I know. But look at all of this if it wants to focus. I don't know. I'm exhausted. I kicked my butt, but it's clean. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, you said you had to cut most of this out. Why did you just clean it? Well, now I can actually touch stuff and it's clean. One thing I did notice pulling this apart so far. One of these is not like the other. Motor mount was toast. Transmission mounts were toast. Actually, let's see if the camera will pick this up. I got a neighbor cutting something in the background, that's just great. But this brace is actually cracked through under this bolt right here. Thankfully, that brace all goes away. For Square Max goodies. So, lots of stuff to do. If you're following along for the Duramax swap itself, then pro tip, smart move, Precision Fabrication. Their kit is the best. And then just go online and print out all their instructions. Now I can sit here and step by step follow the instructions. This is where I gotta decide, do I keep leaf springs? Do I go radius arm and coilovers? The way the kit's designed, my shock mounts are going to interfere. This panhard rod down here is going to interfere, which I don't care anyways because that panhard rod bracket isn't something I did. Came on the truck like that, and I was willing to opt for the integrated panhard mount with the precision fabrication mount with the kit. So obviously, let's see the difference here of there's Roberts. There's Roberts. Obviously this would go down like this, but I'm not squeezing that all in there. Lots of stuff that I still have to go through and figure out. This was just a update of, hey look, I have one truck working and I'm starting to cut apart the other. I'm gonna probably go ahead and I'll just throw in another little time lapse or something like that, but my goal for today, I just want to get this out and then I'm gonna unbolt that cross member back there. But I know I have to unbolt these for later to get to some of this bracket stuff. So as my neighbors have stopped chainsawing whatever the hell they're chainsawing for a little bit. Something is, oh, I got dirt on my nose. Decided, camera's all freaking. Yeah, we're having one of those days, boys. Decided not to bore you guys with more sparks, which is just a bunch of sparks, like I did earlier, cutting that bumper off. So we're knocking cold rivets off before this audio gets ruined with them all cutting whenever they're cutting. Just going through and grinding them off, undoing the bolts that I can. This line is coming too, but this cross member, I got the trans cross member already. So like I said before, this audio is ruined with lawnmowers and stuff like that because it's a neighborhood with a garage build. Yeah, more grinding, more grinding, more grinding, more grinding. Then I'll get back to you once we have a cross member out. Stuff happening to this, you just wait. You can tell my face is getting dirtier and I'm getting dirtier as this progresses. It's a good sign. So if you're like me, you're one guy doing this alone, you are regretting everything at this moment. And it's that I should have done a Cummins swap. Forget that. We have an LB7. We're sticking to the old LB7. But getting to these and underneath there from the bottom, I had to, this is just a crazy clip, but just like this, you know? Okay. English, slow motion. Long extension, wobbly, in from the bottom. That takes those out. Keep the hardware. Do you really need to keep the hardware? I don't think so. I know they provide a lot of hardware in the precision kit, but I'm not sure exactly all what. So I will be keeping all of these flange bolts and nuts because that's a smart idea. So these get reused, and I didn't clean them up good enough. I'll be repressure washing those. The frame needs to be cleaned, and at this point I did notice my brake lines are lacking in the appearance and function. So we follow this brake line, and it's just silicone into that, like literally big booger of silicone. Part of why we were removing those is to get to this, to pull this off, but we're also accessing these 3 rivets, which it looks like that rusted and broke, and they had just fixing all the previous owner's things. That bump stop has to come off. It's already off on this one because this panhard bracket obviously will be pulling out and redoing, and then still up in the air on the whole, pull the shock towers and do maybe, if I keep the leaf springs, I'll at least do, you know, the hoop style. Well, funny story, I actually bought those hoop style ones and ended up getting a Toyota knuckle rebuild kit that I have stashed down there. Even though I don't have a Toyota and probably would never put Toyota axles back on a Toyota if I did. I was supposed to get those hoops, not those ones, the Ford ones. I was supposed to get the the fancy 2 ones. They sent me the wrong thing, I left them a bad review, they wouldn't send me the right stuff, blah 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 blah. I bought those instead, because I don't let anything beat me. I'm that good. I am rambling. Now that we have the cold rivets off, I went ahead and hard wheeled them off and then took the flapper and just flapped the bottoms to smooth up any big nicks in the frame, anything like that. And while I'm standing up, I'm grabbing this pry bar and seeing. Nope. What happens if I hit it with a hammer? Yeah, that side came up. What about this side? Ow. Trying to do this one-handed, so setting you guys back down. Ta-da. Hi. How you doing? So, like I said, dirtier and dirtier. But, sheesh, holy, damn it. Intermission. Hold, please, 1 second. Now that the wind's picking up and stuff, I'm just standing here, checking stuff out, wiping stuff down, cleaning my hands slightly so I can actually do stuff, mainly itch my nose. But the wiring on this thing is starting to leave something to be desired, and in that case I might be desiring a painless harness. It's just, I know I can go through and trace everything, but there's so many butt connectors. This was an old painless harness from, I want to say the 90s, later 2000s, something like that. Someone went through and they tried to do a nice tidied up job, but it's lots of butt connectors and random stuff. Haven't decided yet 100% about replacing it. I have decided, however, that yeah, I am going to be doing a lot more grinding and a lot more cutting off camera. That's gonna suck, and this pan hard mount is going to be the death of me getting this off. I'm gonna end up probably having to pull the steering shaft so I have better access to it with some tools. Probably end up, I don't know. The brake lines, these ones might stay. Ooh, tripping over stuff for the thumbnail. Just crossbars everywhere. But the front brake lines are going, and I'm buying the Precision Fabrication replacement ones that Robert sells that are just amazing. But this line coming through and wrapping, and just and this one, and like stuff like this, I'm finding, I don't know if that's shorted or if the wire is just so old that I'd planned on going through and wire wheeling a bunch of the frame today and starting the painting process, and that's not happening. I actually posted the Dana 60 up. It's a Kingpin 60, so I should get some money off of it there. Get rid of the Kingpin, probably do a radius arm. If I could just find a Ford Kingpin 60, and just so I have the drop on the other side, obviously, because with the Allison and the MP263X HD, it's all opposite drop. It's all driver drop versus passenger drop. So just been in here going through, looking at stuff, mainly reading the mounts, the mount kit installation, the SquareMax engine mounting kit instructions, mainly reading these, just going through them over and over and over, making sure that everything is going according to the instructions. Like I said, it was pop out the cold rivets, pull out the center cross member. This and this get reused, so they're gonna get cleaned up and painted. Might actually do that tonight. We'll see. This is a great idea, printing all these out. Thank you to Gail for actually having that idea and then printing them out for me at her work, because that was a key move. She's the MVP for that. But with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna do more thinking and figuring and daydreaming about having this beautiful LB7 in this beautiful K30. If you like what you guys see, stay tuned for more. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We're like 20% subscribers are watching, and then the rest is 70-something% unsubscribed. No big deal to me. I don't care. I'm having fun. You guys are having fun. And we're gonna be having some real fun with this soon. So, and with that, I am gonna probably throw in a little bit of the drag racing footage from this weekend, time with family, stuff like that. We did a bunch of random stuff. We found a wheel that was buried in the ground like miles up a Mount St. Helens trail, and lots of fun, lots of fun. More work, more fun here. So with that, let's go.
Yeah, that's definitely better.
Day at the track with the family. And the littlest one. Research purposes, right? Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, Average Joe Builds out.